Hey YouTube, Electric Adventures here with my update for June 2015. A little bit late, but this time of the year, very busy family-wise. I've got 4 girls, they all dance, and we have an Stedford, and getting the girls ready and prepared. Plus I've been rather busy with some projects, which I'll get into in a minute. I like to start these videos off with my other pickups, which are basically pickups of games and accessories and books and things that I haven't done a gameplay of. So these generally tend to be the actual modern pickups that I get. Now, one of the first ones I got, and this is the one that has seen the most play, especially when you tally the number of family members that have had a go at it, and this is a game that my kids insisted that I go out and get when it was released. So I actually ordered this the day before, which gave me a pre-order bonus, which was actually good, and it's Lego Jurassic World. And I mean, Lego games are never as expensive as some of the other releases, so it doesn't tax the budget. And given the fact that my youngest has already completed the story in this, I believe the second oldest has completed the story. The youngest is going through into all the extra bits. I've got up to the 3rd movie. It contains all 4 movies, which is actually quite good. And even my wife has almost finished the 1st movie, so it's getting a lot of play in the family, so it was well worth it. I suppose at the end of the day it didn't really matter which system I bought it for, but since I have a PS4 now, I generally, say to myself, I'll just get the PS4 version of everything. We only have one PS4 controller at the moment, so everybody's been playing this individually. Lego games are actually quite good to play multiplayer. Now, my little pre-order bonus, and I've kept the packet, was Dr. Wu, the Lego figure. He's there with his bit of amber, with his, it's got a mosquito in it. So a nice little, bonus extra bit. And also, June is the end of the financial year in Australia, and it's actually when they have the better sales. They do have sales at the end of the year, around Christmas time, and sometimes nowadays leading up to Christmas time. But they were being particularly heavy with the marker this time, and they seem to have a lot of stock. And I got a couple of games that I've always wanted to play on the previous systems, and I thought I might as well get them on the PS4 because they'll be the better version. I was actually trying to find a copy of Alien Isolation, but that one wasn't marked down as much, because I was thinking of, since I haven't actually played my PS3 version yet, I might as well play it on the PS4. So another game that I haven't played on the PS3 that I don't have a copy of is The Last of Us. So The Last of Us Remastered. I'm actually quite looking forward to playing this game. Now obviously 18 plus, so late night playing only for me. And another game that I actually, my wife bought for me for the Xbox 360. When it came out, which would be a couple of Christmases ago, sadly, and I started playing it and never got back to it. The Xbox 360 is actually in a different room, well, I mean, you've noticed that I've started wearing my glasses occasionally, and I found it a little difficult to play it on the TV that I had it, and then it just, with all the other stuff I got forgotten. So I got Tomb Raider Definitive Edition for the PS4. Because the PS4 is in a better room and it will compel me to play it. And on Tomb Raider, I haven't actually finished Tomb Raider Temple of Osiris because I got distracted by the Lego game. Now all these, I believe the Last of Us was second hand, and so is the Tomb Raider second hand. So all these are second hand except for the Jurassic Park, which was new. This was really cheap. I think about $14, and it was the God of War collection for the PS Vita. It does have this hang tab on there. I've got to figure out how to get that off. So it's stuck on by the store, and it's really stuck on hard. I might have to, I don't know, heat it up with the hairdryer really carefully or something. I don't know whether it came with any flyers. Most of the Vita games don't actually have instructions. It does have a crack in the case, as you can see there, but you're not going to notice that. So, and I've played God of War 1 on the PS2, and I have God of War 2 on the PS2, but I've never played it, so that'll probably give me the opportunity to play those. So that's all the games, well, technically all the games. Also, a lot earlier in the month, I actually was part of the Kickstarter and got the Commodore 64 Visual Compendium, but they then went on and did the Amiga Visual Compendium, and at the time I couldn't afford to go into the Kickstarter, which I was a little bit disappointed at. But Funstock Co UK, that's the name of the website, I'll put a link up as well, had a special on to get the Commodore Omega Visual Compendium, which is actually a lot larger than the Commodore 64 one, and it comes in this nice slip cover. It's actually the Commodore 64 one was, I'll just do a random page opening here, really good quality. I've only just started reading this, but the companion item that I got with it was part of the special. I'll put that back together later on, I'm going to distract myself too much. Part of the special was you could get a cheap copy on Blu-ray or DVD. I just got it on DVD, it wasn't really worth getting a Blu-ray of. From Bedrooms to Billions, the documentary that was made, and I've watched it, and I actually really enjoyed it. I think they did a very good job. So nothing special about it, nothing else other than the CD, sorry, the DVD in there, and I really enjoyed that. And actually, I've been watching a few of the other related documentaries that have come out on Netflix, because we've got Netflix now, so that's put me on a bit of a kick of those. So I really enjoyed that. So if you're into that sort of thing of a bit of nostalgia and history, obviously that's very UK focused, which might be of interest to people in the US as well. So it's quite well, it's actually quite long, and I mean there's nothing that says you have to watch it all in one sitting. I actually watched it in 2 sittings myself, because I got interrupted. The story of my life. Alright, before I grab that, now I have another pickup, and I have actually always wanted one of these, but they were like $300 here in Australia, and I could just never see myself getting one. But I call him my electronics friend, a guy who occasionally fixes stuff that I can't, or helps me out with things. He actually gave me a little bit of assistance with my PC Engine Turbo Duo, which is now mostly working. One more sound issue, the music from the CD games isn't coming through, but otherwise it all works. He bought this, which is an arcade, but he has an Android tablet and doesn't have an iPad, and getting it working with an Android tablet he has had no luck with. So he came to see me because he knew I had a couple of things. We tried it out with my Nexus 7, and we couldn't get it to work with that either. And I mean, he got this cheap because one of our chain stores, Myers, down here in Tassie, actually have a few of them, and they were just in storage, and I think he got it for under $100. But anyway, I haven't paid any money for it. We've traded some stuff. So I had several PCs sitting around here. I've made him out one of those, and we've traded some other items off as well. So I wasn't planning to get this, but it's most welcome. Because I wasn't planning it, I haven't really had a chance to have a really good go at it. But it's actually really well made. The buttons and stick are really good, and the iPad sits in there really well. And I've played my Raiden Fighters on it, and it works really well. And at the same time, it was renewal time, so I've upgraded to an iPad Air 2 and done the old hand-me-down 2. I mean, I had an iPad Air before, so it's not much of an upgrade, so I'm not going to hold that up or anything like that. I'm just mentioning it because we're talking about iPads there. So that was a nice surprise. Just need more time to play it. But I have been rather distracted this month, but I've been enjoying what I've been distracted on. Now, the leading thing of the distraction comes from this next item, and it is an Innate EverDrive, and it's actually the deluxe edition. It's actually really well packaged. So this comes from Stone Age Gamer, They're the people that make these. And it's actually a really good quality product. It's a nice black cartridge. There's the cartridge there. Looks really professionally done, and you can see the SD slot in the top, and it works really well, and it's very handy for somebody who is writing games for the NES, which I am now. Now this, I didn't buy this. This actually came from the team at Collectavision, and more specifically John Lester, or Gamester81, who's the part of the team at Collectavision. He sent this to me so I could basically test the games, because the games I'm working on, and I've been sort of hinting about this, and people who follow my Facebook page may have already know a little bit about this, but I'm actually working on a special cartridge for the Game On Expo that's going to be held in at the end of August over in America. I'm not going to be able to make it there myself, but I'll be there in spirit, because my game, which is a combined cartridge to basically simulate the Nintendo World Championships on a Nintendo. So it was actually interesting. We didn't know anything about the actual Nintendo holding a new World Championships, but they didn't make a special cartridge or anything like that. They just played a number of games and had a knockout tournament. So this will be a tournament pretty much exactly the same as the original World Championships, except it'll have 3 Collectavision games on it. Now I'm writing all of the versions that'll be on there, so I'll put up a bit of video while I'm rambling here. I have got it to the stage where some of it is running, so I can show you some screenshots. Obviously, please ignore that it needs a bit of debugging and there'll be a few glitches. But the first game is another Sydney Hunter game called Curse of the Mayans, and it will be 20 screens from that, where you've got to collect as many gems as you can and get to the end. And then the next game you move on to is Pedal to the Metal, which is a racing car game. Now it'll only have 1 track and 1 car in obviously the cartridge, because you've only got 6 minutes and 21 seconds to get to play through 3 games and get as high a score as you can. So you've got 1 track go around, and there'll be a couple of bonus items to collect when you go around the track. And the third game is my very own Media Swarm, which I've already converted and got mostly running, but some debugging and jazzing it up a little bit. And that'll be the last game. So basically, you basically play through Sydney Hunter, get to the end, getting as high a score as possible, do your 1 lap on Pedal to the Metal, and then whatever time you've got left, you can do as many screens and try and get as high a score as you can in Media Swarm. And Media Swarm will be the full game. Obviously the Sydney Hunter Curse of the Mayans, the full game, will have a much larger map and everything like that, but they're all good tasters. And this cartridge will be available in 2 different formats: a grey cart in similar style to the original World Championship cart, and also a gold cart as well for I believe participants in the actual competition on the day. I don't know, I think grey cart will be available for sale at the event for a little time afterwards, and they'll be very limited in numbers. But also later on, all 3 of those games will be released as separate cartridges, but they'll be the full game version, so they'll be much more expanded. They'll be much later in the year, because it takes quite a while to put a game like that together and fully test it. These ones only have to stand up for 6 minutes and 21 seconds, so they don't need everything in it. Sydney Hunter, as an example, has a lot more to it than just running through and progressing through a maze. You've actually got a boomerang that you throw and fight enemies, so that won't be in the sample on this particular cartridge. But still, it's a pretty cool game. I'm enjoying working on it. By the way, the graphics of both Sydney Hunter and Pedal to the Metal are done by one of the Collectavision team, JF, and he's done a very good job on them. Now, the Meteor Swarm I probably won't release as an individual game because, I mean, it is only an Asteroids game. I'm thinking of getting my Birds of Orion that always came as the B-side of Meteor Swarm, and that'll be on the cartridge as well, but once again, similarly jazzed up. And future, now that I'm in NES mode, and I've actually, I'm quite enjoying programming for the system. I mean, I used to be mainly a Z80 programmer, so I've flipped my mind over to 6502 now. Quite enjoying it. Learnt the NES architecture, and I'm starting to you know, work out all of the quirks and tricks and things you can do with it. And I'm going to write a game called Pixidus 2, which will be a sequel to my original vertical scrolling shoot 'em up, which is one of my biggest selling games back in the day. And I will backport that to MSX, MSX2, and that'll be an enhanced version, ColecoVision, and a few other systems as well as finally finishing my Cavern Fighter, which is my sort of like my Scramble clone for the ColecoVision and MSX, but I would also like to make that on the NES as well, you know, especially since the NES can do smooth scrolling. I'm interested to see what I can get that to look like. So I'm very excited about this and very into this. With this busyness and doing that, that is why I mean, I do apologise. The number of videos I can put out is reduced. I mean, I'm constantly being interrupted, and at this time of the year, so it always goes down. I mean, I will have some other pickups. I need to continue my A to Z of my MSX collection, and I haven't forgotten about my Let's Make a Retro Game series. But of course that takes the most time editing wise, and I want that to be as good as possible. So until I get this championship cut, because obviously that's very much time sensitive, I won't be putting out another one of those. So everybody, you're going to have to be a little bit patient for that one. But I can only do so many things at once. Alright, so that's probably enough waffling about Homebrew. I mean, obviously it's one of the things I'm most excited about. It definitely has, I mean, I used to love programming games back in the day. I've been doing business software in the in-between times and everything like that, and I've enjoyed that, but it's just nice getting back into games. And I mean, I did, you know, started work on the ColecoVision and some MSX ones again, but it's nice to have a new challenge, so that's why the NES is so compelling at the moment. And when I finish the current project, there may be another project for another system that's a lot more modern that I will be helping out with as well. So, but we'll take that one as it comes. Alright, I normally try and catch up on a response video, and the easiest one to do for me this month, due to time, is Novabugs Next Friday Foursome, and it's a really good one because it was 4 shoutouts, and I haven't done any shoutouts for a while, so I would like to, you know, it's one that I really like doing, and I should do more often. Now, not to repeat myself, my first person I'm going to shout out is my longest YouTube friend, and he really does put out some really good quality videos. He's putting out a lot of content at the moment, especially of all manner of things. He goes all the way from modern back to retro stuff, but he's very much lately he's been testing out all sorts of Android builds, and you know, quite a few tablets and Pis with Android builds, trying to get emulators running on them, and there's been some very, very good videos, and he does some very good vlogs on topics as well, always very well considered. But anyway, so this is Mark Lactobacillus Prime, and I'll put links down below to all these channels, of course. So he's been my longest friend on YouTube. Now, another one of my once again, I'm cheating here a little bit, but I haven't shouted out the next couple for a while, and it's another one of my friends on YouTube, but it's One MSX to Go. He hasn't been able to put out as many videos lately, but he really has a great collection, also a fellow MSX person and a PC Engine person, and it's his fault why I got into the PC Engine in the first place, so which is great because I love it as a system. So go check him out. And so I've tried to pick one from a different country. So over to the US, I'm going to shout out Ed T1138. or just Ed as he's known sometimes as well. Now Ed's a father like me, busy father like me. He has, and also a fellow hoarder. I would definitely call myself a hoarder. And he drives around a lot, so he gets to go to a lot of Goodwill stores. He posts a lot of the pickups on his Facebook page, and does an occasional catch-up video of those, plus videos on other topics. His son's getting a bit older now, so they're actually playing a few games together. They're into some of the multiplayer space games as well. So, and when we get a chance, we're going to try and hook up a Star Wars game we're all playing together. So that would be good. So go check out Ed. So he's our US recipient here, and then we'll go to a UK person. So a person I have not shouted out, but a very good YouTuber, deserves more subs. He has an excellent game loft and game room, and it's Gruss Newton. He actually did, there's another response that I'm going to do separately because it requires me video some content. He did a video on his arcade stick collection. So arcade controllers for the various systems, which is an interesting tag, so I will do a response to that, Gruss. But go check his channel out. He's a really good guy. He has his lovely little dog Frank. As regular watchers of myself know that I've got a couple of dogs and a cat. He comes across really nicely in his videos, always entertaining, and he's a big Sega guy, I would say, but he does have other systems, and he's into his shooters like I am as well. And he's actually doing regular videos each week of a bit of a shooter thing. There was unfortunately a Google Hangout that I missed, but I'm in a rotten time zone in comparison, so I was actually up at the time, but we went to these dancing at Stepfords and I missed out. So next time, Gruss. Alright, I've probably waffled on long enough for this video, but I actually do like these vlog videos. It'd be nice if I could think of an excuse to do them more often than once a month. Alright, I'm Electric Adventures. Thank you all to my subscribers, and I'll catch you next time.